All right.
Not ready.
All right, everybody. We are here for session, I think it's 54 of Descent into Fernia. For the recap today, I want to keep it a little vague for Tony. So go ahead and recap, like, very briefly what your characters experienced that was kind of shared, because all of the visions were shared, but don't go beyond the final sharing or what you guys saw from the Coatls perspective. I will start with Trebek. The Coatl went through his, and there was nothing. There was just that moment where he was cowardly in Whitehall Tower, and you guys, what? I have to be right back. Excuse me. Go ahead and start with the recapping and sharing now.
Sure. Right, sounds good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Ipopsicoatl, the Coatl.
Yeah.
So
Hippopotamus.
Yeah. So Walla Walla Coatl approved.
Yeah. I'm not. We learned that the penance stare breaks the cycle of rebirth for fiends.
That's cool. That's handy. Good thing we're not fiends.
Yeah, aren't we
Yeah.
glad Paelius wasn't here now?
Paelius wasn't a fiend.
Wasn't he a tiefling, or was that your other character?
He was a drow. No, I've had no tieflings here in this game. The other character was a changeling.
Oh, changeling. Yeah. You're right.
Ipsopsicoatl.
It's pop.
I think it was Ipopsicoatl.
Ipopsicoatl.
It was a lot of letters.
Yeah. This thing has a twin. That they're
the rhinoceros.
Yeah. They're the only survivors of their kind.
Wait! Don't share that part. That's not that. That's the stuff that you learned from them. I'll go through that again with Tony.
That means nothing to me, so it's fine.
Am I supposed to leave out the orgy? It was technically a shared experience.
We'll get there.
Okay. Then I will abstain because yeah.
I forget who went first.
I think that was Lux.
Lux went first.
Yep.
So Peter, can you briefly share what Lux experienced in the penance stare?
Yeah, the sanitized version.
Whichever version you want.
The one that's been redacted, so Tony doesn't get any ideas.
Oh, yes.
Okay. She spoke of the worst thing that she's ever experienced, and then stuff happened, and the next person went.
Okay, not that redacted.
The worst thing that's ever happened: giving birth to Solomon, meeting Solomon's father. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I don't know if you probably weren't paying attention, so you.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, we were all living through a shared experience, but Ewan had.
That doesn't mean
things,
anything.
So
I feel like I would pay attention.
I mean, the quick version of the branded one story is it was how he was sort of coerced, or rather led into being a member of the Emerald Claw and a worshiper of the blood of Vol, which started out with like him saying how his family basically pressured him into breaking up with the woman that he loved. And he was pretty mean about it, but then she got into a rebound relationship with this loser. So of course he went, kidnapped the loser, broke his arms and legs, buried him. Well, first dug up his grandma so he needed a coffin. So tossed his grandma's body away, buried the coffin in a pretty deep hole, and then put the loser into it. Fixed a stovepipe on the top so that he could let the rainwater drain in, so that when the guy woke up, he could slowly drown because there's no better than what he deserved. Then went back and about a week later saw the woman that he loved and found out that she was actually pregnant by the loser. And then he zoned out a bit, and the next thing he knew, she was just dead and he was just holding this knife. So he remembered, he was thinking back on his grandmother's experience because she was a seeker of the blood of Vol. And he realized that if he stayed in Karnath, that they were probably going to execute him because they were not going to be as cool about all this murder as he would want them to be. And that they might turn him into a zombie because they always need more zombies. So he decided better to flee than suffer that fate. And he realized that, maybe there was some power, since he's now covered in blood, maybe there was some power in this whole blood of Vol thing. And so he went off to find other worshippers of the blood of Vol, which led him into the Emerald Claw. So the thing he was sorry about, distinctly, the thing he was sorry about was that he entertained joining the blood of Vol and wasn't paying attention to the Silver Flame, not the death of those two people. That was incidental.
Noted.
And
I catch criminals, God damn it.
Vegnog's story was about how he became a merchant and how he disobeyed an order that had a very damning cost to it for a lot of people. And yeah, that's effectively it, in a nutshell. Oh, and he decided he got rid of he cast off his old name or his new name and took back his old name. So he would prefer it if you called him Blade now. But he will also accept Mr. Blade or Master Blade on occasion.
Mm-hmm. All right, but you have to sound like Wesley Snipes.
Commander Blade in a pinch.
Monsieur Blade.
That could work in like a Merovingian kind of way.
So, Tony, Ewan is witnessing all of these visions through the radiant rainbow fire that has engulfed all of you in a maelstrom just swirling about you, containing both all of your party as well as the Coatl in front of you. And you can feel its burning eyes staring into you, and you can feel the flames erupting throughout you and causing a burning sensation, but not one that you feel physically, but more that you feel deep within your soul. And as you do, you are forced to relive your past sins as it brings it to the forefront. And so what is it that Ewan sees?
I've had very little time to flesh anything out here.
Oh, did you? the 3-4 weeks of reminders.
Listen. I've had a whole lot of time to flesh things out, but I've also had a whole lot of time to completely forget about it. Today I tried, but today was very busy. But I got a vague outline.
Okay.
Early in Ewan's career. Obviously, he has to. He's an investigator of a type, someone who catches criminals and brings them in, essentially. Not generally one to met out the justice, just the one to capture those who have been deemed required to be brought in. One of the people that he was tasked with bringing in, he didn't necessarily know what this person looked like originally. In his in his time out carousing to gather intel, he met this person unbeknownst that not knowing that it was this person that he was meant to capture, and they kind of became friends. And now I'm almost realizing there's like a fucking Point Break type of thing going on here. I didn't even think about it. It just happened.
Okay, Johnny Utah.
Yeah.
What
if his story was point for point, just Point Break?
He befriends this person, he hangs out, and then he learns who he is. Like, oh shit, god damn it, this is the part I'm supposed to bring this person in. I don't know if he knows that I know that. But one of those weird, you don't know that I know that I know that you know that I know, whatever the situation. Again, early in the career, essentially, I let my my friendship with him get the better of me. I let him go. I'll just say I can't find him. Maybe he died in somewhere, and that's why he's I can't find him. But then I learn, like shortly after I didn't bring him in, he kills some like rich nobleman's daughter or something, and that it was a learning experience for him. It was like I said, defining moment for you, and he will always think about that. Will always consider who he's friends with, and now he's just learned that what's his fucking murdered some people, so he's absolutely gonna keep a close eye on him.
So what aspect of that is the part that eats at Ewan?
The fact that he let him go, thinking maybe he hasn't been so bad, like we've just been hanging out, and then he goes and kills this woman, and she was or not even woman, like young, super young, not even of marrying age yet.
So Ewan re-experiences all of this very, very intensely, as if he's in fact reliving it. And in the moment that he learns about the death of the woman at the hands of this person that he befriended and let go, whether or not it took place in this way, Ewan finds himself as the investigator that discovered the woman's body and found the murder weapon, which was clearly visible on the belt of this person, and unique enough that there's no mistaking it. Ewan encounters the scene with the father grieving, crying, and he sees you and he turns to you, and suddenly his tears change to rage, and he says, you did this. You allowed my daughter to die.
You're right.
No, that's not good enough. And he punches you. And it is the hardest hit you have ever had. Harder than even the Sharoof.
I'm at 2 hit points.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
No, I know. I'm just saying I was brought there very quickly. So I have an idea. I've recently encountered this pain.
So even greater than that.
I don't fight back.
He stands over you expectantly. Speak, you disgusting. He can't even find the words. It just comes out a guttural growl.
There's nothing that I could say.
And then you find yourself, you're standing up.
Is that other investigator there?
Oh, you're alone. It's
Oh.
just you and this person in their home. And then as you stand up, you feel cold, soft hands creep along your neck and wrap around your shoulders, and you hear a voice in your ear. You let me die. And then it spins you around, and it's this woman with the blade still plunged through her chest. You failed your honor.
Wait, what does she look like? Is she my girlfriend?
I think I would know.
Ewan doesn't think she smells pregnant. And then the two of them just begin beating you senseless. But after a few moments, you see that it's no longer them that are beating you. It's yourself. You are being beaten by another version of you.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And then it stands you
Is it-
up.
Because I imagine again, I'm like my younger self, right? Is it like an older version of me that's beating me up? That's how I picture it.
Sure.
It seems right.
You don't deserve to live. You failed the blade marks. You failed that woman and her family. You failed the whole of Thaliost in letting the explosion destroy the city. You failed to stop Crozen from taking Jayla Duran. You were there. You witnessed the fall of Flamekeep. And you failed.
The scale does not track here.
What do you mean?
I definitely failed that little girl, but that city, there was nothing I could do.
So this other version knocks you across the head, but holds you so that you can't fall back, and then yanks you forward and says, yes, you failed. You had the chance to stop it. You didn't see the signs. You, a blade mark, a Dneith, uniquely positioned to sniff out the evil, the corrupted, the lawless, and you couldn't do it.
All true statements. That's why I'm fighting it now. There's still a chance.
It begins to sneer and then lets out a cold, mocking laugh. You have lost your arm. You have lost allies. You are in the very pits of hell, and you are about to die burning in a soul flame. Where do you get off thinking anything can change, that you can do anything to change the outcome?
If I die, then I have failed, just as I failed others. But I will at least be fighting. I'll punch him. I'll punch myself, I guess, if I can.
Okay. Give me a charisma check.
Just check. Let me just offer. I have a whole pretty good feature, just in case it matters.
Okay.
But charisma check.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm not very good at these. Okay,
Okay.
it's okay.
So while your words are seeming to be words of conviction, as you're speaking them, you're really not sure that you believe them. Deep down, you feel that doubt sinking in. You recognize that this double or alter of yourself, everything that it says is true. But there's a core of you that you can sense, that you can draw strength from. And if you can find it and understand it, and your words will not only be seeming of conviction, but they will actually feel of conviction. So as you explore that inner part of yourself, what do you find?
Solomon.
Okay, say more.
The mark on him, he may have tried to hide it a little bit. I thought it wandered, right? Was it a wandering mark? I forget.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, it would show up, and I would definitely take notice. That guy, he was an idiot, but he was good. He would always fight for good. And even if he wasn't part of the house, he was marked by my house. You're practically marked by my house. And yeah, that's my house did everything for me. And Solomon, again, bit of an idiot, but he'd do a lot for all of his friends.
So the conviction that you start to feel,
And for the flame, I guess. But I don't care about the flame. He cared about the flame. That's not what I'm caring about.
Yeah, that's what the koala wanted to hear. That's what she was looking for.
I don't draw my strength from gods, but from the bonds that I make along the way.
and
The thing, the
bond,
flame isn't a god so much as just a force.
but
Yeah, I know.
so you find that piece of you that you draw strength from, and that piece is the representation of Solomon.
It visualizes as Solomon.
Okay. So what is it beneath the visage of Solomon? What is the core of it? And why is it manifesting as Solomon?
Again, because he fought and always would. Again, Solomon was an idiot. We know that, right? But but he was like the lovable idiot. But so he always did good. And that's what I tried to do. Even though I let that guy go, I thought he didn't seem bad whenever I let him go. But then he did bad, and I'm like, fuck, now I gotta get him. And then the city exploding was sure a hell of a thing. I didn't see the signs, but then whenever shit was starting to go down, I had to get me and other people out of the city. That's what I was doing.
So you're likening this manifestation of
Solomon is good.
as,
Solomon is good. I try
But-
and do good.
but it sounds even more than that. It sounds like a child like innocence.
You could
is
call
what you're drawing
Solomon a child. Yeah, that's fine.
I thought what I was hearing is that Solomon was so dumb, he fucked shit up all the time. I let one guy go one time.
That's, maybe a version of Solomon would think that.
So
Solomon
then-
is like an embodiment of good. That's what I would liken it to.
okay.
And while I couldn't be as good as Solomon is, but
He's
Like-
he's the version of good that you strive to be.
the version of good I don't think I'll ever be, but I can try, sure. Right.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, the silver flame is nothing. Solomon is the silver flame.
Okay.
He might as well just be the silver flame.
And then as you say that, the figure before you, this version of yourself, there's your words have a kind of resonance that is almost visible, and as it spreads out from you, it engulfs this other version, and it causes him to shake, and there are cracks that form, and through the cracks you can see a shining light, a bright white, which then you see wisps of flame, white flames erupting through the cracks, and then finally it bursts and there's a blinding light, and then suddenly Solomon stands before you.
Sprite.
What he kind of looks at you for a moment, giving you the first chance to speak.
I mean, he'd definitely be confused. How the hell did I get here?
I just like go to like, do the whole like the clasping of arms shake thing. Well, I don't know. Probably won't last. But you look fit.
Ewan,
Feel for my head, make sure.
Yeah, they feeding you all right in the Silver Flame? Mother would ask. That's why. So I ask for her.
So Solomon, he just kind of takes a moment, and he does look confused, and he's looking around, and he says,
What do our surroundings look like?
So at this point, you are in the swirling maelstrom of rainbow flames. And it's just you and Solomon standing there.
All right.
What would Solomon know? Would he know about like the whole vision Ewan just had?
So it's not clear if this
I feel like
is-
it's in my head.
if
Right.
this is Solomon or if this is a representation of Solomon, but it feels real enough for Ewan and for those of you seeing this vision unfold before you.
Because I feel like if Solomon is aware of like the whole he let a killer go, I feel like Solomon almost certainly would shake off whatever his confusion is to at least say, one failure is not defining of your entire life. Think of all the good you have done. One mistake is regrettable, but it's understandable over the course of a whole life. Give yourself credit for the good and try to learn from the mistakes. I mean, I never did, but you could.
That's what I'm trying, but this fucking Coatl is trying to say otherwise, man.
I mean, I would probably look up at the Coatl and smile at that the Coatl doesn't know what he's doing.
It is a defining moment, but
I suspect
it's led me to do the good things that I have done.
I suspect this trial is one that you have unknowingly brought on yourself.
That's for damn sure. But also knowingly, because we were getting our asses kicked out there.
So does Solomon have anything else that he wants to leave Ewan with in this moment?
Not that I can think of. But if you can think of something, you can take them over.
Okay. So Solomon would just then kind of knock you on the shoulder and say, you must trust in yourself and trust in your allies. Don't
And
allow
the silver
doubts.
flame. Put this not believing in the silver flame thing aside.
Trust in the flame.
And next, what's that? What you got more after that though?
Wait, what?
Well, yeah. What? One more after the silver flame though? What else?
Just the silver flame.
Oh yeah. Okay. Of course. True to life. Silver flame, silver flame, silver flame. That's all we heard.
Now in this moment though, you're beginning to recognize the silver flame, as Kurt said earlier. It's not a god. It's not a divinity. It is a force of nature within the universe, and it does bind the goodness of the universe together. And it is a protective force. And so even if you don't believe in the silver flame as something worthy of worship, you can at least understand that it is something to be respected and utilized as a resource against the things that you have faced and have yet to face.
Does that mean I got to keep the branded one alive?
Solomon just kind of laughs, and then he erupts in silver flame. And then the vision begins to fade. And then, as I was saying before, the thing that I was trying to kind of keep from you is with the penance stare, the coatl has looked into your soul, and knows of your sins, but now you are actually looking upon the coatl's soul and the coatl's own sins. And as they begin to manifest, you see that the coatl, and as others have said, her name is it's Papapalotl. I'm going to put that into the chat.
And it has a sibling.
It does, and I'm put that name in the chat too.
Like Wheat Zalotl or something.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Papalotl.
So it's Papalotl and her twin, Huitzilopochtli, Apochtli, were among the only survivors of their kind. During the Age of Demons, the coatls worked with the dragons to select mortal champions and create what the creatures of Corvair refer to as silver flame. You learn that the silver flame acts as a conduit to the heart of Sybaris, allowing the world to access its source of ultimate divine good. However, in order to create the conduit of the silver flame, the coatls sacrificed their lives and their souls. In this act of altruism and love, the demon overlords were finally able to be imprisoned and their influence over the world severely diminished. For the first time since their creation, mortals were able to walk the earth and live in prosperity. At the time that this was all happening, its Papapalotl and her twin were still young. They did not understand why they were being asked to sacrifice their lives, and they were afraid. Rather than follow their kin and obey, they fled. In time, as they grew wiser, they realized that without their sacrifice, the silver flame was likely incomplete. It could have left cracks that may someday allow the overlords to return. It's Papapalotl and Huitzilopochtli Huitzilopochtli finally
Even
understood.
Ipspotzapalotl can't get it right.
Finally understood the gravity of their sin and felt immense shame for their cowardice. Over time, Huitzilopochtli grew restless. He was no longer satisfied with his existence and wished to find a way to redeem himself. Huitzilopochtli discovered signs within the draconic prophecy that indicated an overlord was about to break free of his prison. He pleaded with Ipspotzapalotl to join him in the coming fight. Huitzilopochtli even found a mortal champion, a creature touched by the heart of Sybaris, who may be able to stand against the overlord's evil. But Ipspotzapalotl was afraid. She wanted to join her twin, but her cowardice was once again too great. Huitzilopochtli left with a heart heavy with disappointment, but determined to make a difference in the world. Huitzilopochtli was the very Coatl who led Tiramaran in the fight against Belshalor, using their lives and souls to bind the fiend. In the wake of Ipsapalotl's loss, she fled the world entirely and sought refuge in Fernia. She chose Fernia because of her shame, believing she deserved to spend eternity in this inhospitable land. Her shame was channeled into acts of anger and recklessness. She savagely fought every monster she encountered, hoping to find one that might make her physical suffering match her internal anguish. But eventually her rage diminished, and now all that is left is emptiness. She is alone in the world, lost and burdened with the sense of failure to her people and the world. And so she has created this maze as a prison of sorts. And so you see that unfold, and the flames, rainbow flames begin to ease. You feel the fire upon your soul begin to diminish, and as it does, you feel yourself changed. You feel yourself to be cleansed, and then you feel an itching sensation upon your forehead, and you go to scratch it, and you realize that the skin on your forehead is beginning to heal, and the mark of Crozin is fading from your head. And then you notice an intense pain where your prosthetic arm is, and you clutch at it, and it grows from the shoulder, and then you realize that you need to pull the arm off, and growing in its place is a new arm, healthy and strong. And
Is it a baby arm?
Or even cooler, it's like a giant arm, one giant arm.
It's a Cronenberg arm.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with this Mike anti-body horror session.
Balance in all things. It just took a few years.
There's nothing can balance it takes a lot more to off balance what you've done to people. Anti-whiplash damage. Heal people from whiplash damage. Throw them into a tree and they heal. Then maybe we'll think we're starting to have some balance.
So that won't happen.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember what Trebek's story was.
So Trebek's
perfect.
story was that, yeah, the only sin that he had upon his soul was the time that he was demonstrating cowardice and helping you. But then after he was snapped out of his cowardice, he,
By Solomon. Solomon's making a lot of
Yeah.
appearances.
it seems that despite Solomon's being gone, he still remains the heart of the group in some ways. Which is interesting. But so Ewan, in the aftermath of all of these visions, you see a few things. First of all, Trebek heals completely, and not only does he heal, but he sprouts angelic wings from his back.
That's cool. That guy.
Blade the Destroyer is able to manifest a blade from his arm. I don't know, Dustin, if you have it like a transformer where it turns into an arm, or if it just kind of like a switchblade from the wrist, or the front or the back of the wrist. But
I imagine like it comes out like I have kind of like the visual I have is like it protrudes out like a and it has like a kind of blue kind of filigree that light up. Yeah.
Okay. You notice that the remaining demon ichor that was within Lux has been replaced with a radiant fire that she can summon forth at will. And there is a change in the branded one, although his is much more subtle compared to the others. It's more in a sense of stature and a sense of, I guess, reevaluating some of the people that he finds himself with. So,
And then after story time, we were conversing with the Coatl, who clearly does not know what necessarily to do with the branded one, but decided Silver Frame brought me back for some reason. So guess maybe don't kill me. And then we had a conversation where we were sort of discussing the Coatl's own shame. And it was suggested that the Coatl leave this place, leave the wallowing and self-pity behind, and go and find Flamekeep and try to help them there. Since it's seeming increasingly unlikely that the branded one is going to find a fiend and then be able to get back. But maybe this thing with its wings can find a fiend and take it there so they can power their shield.
Yeah. And then it also gave you some of its blood, which was needed for the ritual.
But we need tears or something too.
So the tears were meant to help with the
Well, it's for like the
infliction
healing,
of
wasn't
the
it?
demon ichor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, could
But
we get some of that? Just in case
Sure.
we encounter some more of it.
Seems
So-
like
Oh.
It seems like a Blade would turn to you, and that feels very rude to ask this creature who has already provided so much to shed tears on our behalf.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I understand, but I also have to think pragmatically here too.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't shed any physical tears that we saw, did it? I thought it was metaphorical once we were healed. The tears of an angel was actually a reference to this this divine fire we were engulfed in.
yeah,
And
so
perhaps
that's
it's sharing its pain.
Yeah, so that is a reasonable explanation for what you guys have experienced, that this was in a sense the Coatls tears. And then also another thing, you and that you would have learned through this process is that the Coatl is never really attempted the penance stare upon a mortal before. And it has, as Dustin was starting to say at the beginning, that this is the technique that it is used for every single creature that makes up the bones of this place. Because in the face of the penance stare, no fiend that it has encountered is strong enough to deal with it, and it breaks the cycle of rebirth that fiends experience after their physical bodies are destroyed. So every fiend here caught within the walls of this maze is a fiend that no longer exists anywhere in the universe.
Be a great technique to learn. Feels like a unique technique, though. So like checking the arm out.
It's still a baby arm, or is it Cronenberg arm? I don't think we ever laid it out like what this arm looks like.
Why is it black?
You ever see Bleach?
So Ewan, the arm, your arm is actually, now that you've had a chance to kind of look at it, you notice that there are patches of skin that are raising along the length of your arm. And it, at first it startles you, but then you realize this is an extension of your dragon mark.
I don't have a dragon mark.
Now you do.
Okay.
So you now bear the mark of House Deneath.
The sentinel mark or whatever.
Yeah, the mark of the Sentinel. In terms of any power that it might provide you, it's still to be determined mechanically. But in addition, interspersed through the mark are also markings that look to be tracings of silver throughout.
Mhm.
So it's simultaneously touched by the mark of your house as well as the silver flame.
Oh, okay. Got it. Oh,
So
maybe I can
now-
actually punch a fiend and they fucking feel it now.
So
But like normal size, like as it was before.
yes.
We still hadn't. Like, now we know.
It's not a Cronenberg arm.
A single T-Rex arm.
A little fucking. It's the Deadpool arm. It's like not fully out yet.
Anyone watch My Hero Academia?
Yes.
Oh. So All for One's arm when he fought All Might,
Mhm.
that giant thing. All right, so you guys are now past this moment. The Itzapalatal has agreed to go and
It's Papalotl.
yeah,
Yeah,
has agreed to go to Flame Keep. And it also then asks, would you like me to fly you somewhere along the way?
we have a vehicle that we have to tend to, and that will help us get where we're going after our next destination. So I don't think you're strong enough to carry the whole vehicle.
It rustles its feathers and shivers in a very strange kind of motion, and you can feel the anger radiating from it. Do not presume to know my strength.
I think it's strong enough to carry vehicle if we wish.
Like, yeah, dude, you can't just say that right in front of him. Her? I thought you said her. I don't remember.
It's her.
Yeah. You can't just say that right in front of her. Come on.
I have
Is-
no objection. I just didn't think it was possible. Forgive me. I did not mean any offense by that. And it will save us on a soul coin, so
Speaking of, are you familiar with soul coin?
They are an abomination.
That is true,
Okay.
but they power our vehicle. Do you know a good way to make soul coins? Is there some?
Your vehicle is powered by soul coins.
Well, in Fernia, if you are going to get the vehicle, how else are you going to get around? You have to work with the resources that were given to you.
Yeah, it's a
Unless-
shitty situation for sure.
There is no other vehicle in Fernia that's or any other fuel source.
Do you realize what you are doing?
I mean, feel free to ferry us around as wherever we need them. Like, we wouldn't necessarily ask that of you.
What happens when soul coins are burned?
The souls contained within them are destroyed, snuffed from existence. Soul coins are not just made from the souls of those who are evil or dishonorable. Excuse me, dishonorable.
She had a light snack between visions.
you were chowing down on chili right before we got in here.
They are made
Is
the souls of desperate people, people looking for help, solutions, times of crisis, sacrifice.
they seem to be currency, main only currency in Fernia.
And in the Wandering Emporium, it seems.
It takes a moment sitting with this knowledge and understanding the predicament that you're in.
Yeah, you just went through the penance there. Like, we fucking know, man.
Yeah. Clearly this dilemma did not trouble any of you.
I forget if it was Solomon or the branded one who pointed out before that we're basically burning people's souls just to move around. But no, it doesn't trouble him. All the better if these people were desperate. But first of all, some of them surely were evil if they wound up here and turned into soul coins. But the desperate and the people looking for a purpose, it may not be the purpose that they were hoping for, but our goals are noble in moving around Fernia. Everyone else who's burning soul coins in this plane is doing it for far less noble reasons. the sacrifices that of these souls may ultimately be the thing that saves Flamekeep and saves possibly thousands of lives.
It is for that reason, branded one, the way that you speak, that I have such doubts in the wisdom of the flame for granting you the power that it does, and why it is so important that Trebek accompany your party. That is not the way of light. That is not what my kind sacrificed for. So it begins to meditate for a moment. It goes quiet. It closes its eyes. You can hear its breath kind of decrease, and then its eyes open again, and it takes one of its claws, and it looks at it, it sighs, and then it viciously bites it off, and you can hear it growl in pain as it does so. And then it spits it out at your feet. Take that. If you are using soul coins to power your vehicle, I cannot allow that to happen. That is my flesh and blood. It should be a sufficient power source for your vehicle.
I'll pick it up.
Does that fit in the slot or?
So it's about this, in terms of the,
I mean, we've opened that panel up. I'm sure we can get it in there.
yeah, in terms of the size, it will fit within the spot. As the branded one
That's what
picks
she
it up,
said.
as the branded one picks it up, you feel the power radiating from it, and and you see from time to time that the scaly flesh kind of sparks with the silver flames radiance.
Well, we should return to our vehicle and be on our way. Is there an easier way out of here than climbing the walls?
God
That's
damn
right.
it, we'll do it.
There's no roof, right? So
There isn't, no.
is an easy way out if you're a Coatl or Trebek.
Right.
So do you not want the Coatl to fly you somewhere?
Oh, I didn't realize. I imagine the Coatl is, approximately size huge, and our vehicle is much bigger than that. So I was just thinking it's impossible, but I don't
Oh,
care.
It's actually bigger than your vehicle.
Oh, okay. I was going on the token size.
Yeah, I mean, the token size is representative of how, like, if it were coiled in one spot.
And how many claws does it have? Does it have to like one hand us now?
Well, it didn't gnaw off its entire hand, just one of its claws.
Oh, okay. So you mean like the,
And
the,
like
the end of the claw,
tip,
the nail?
yeah, the tip of one of its fingers. It gnawed it off and spit it out.
That makes more sense than that we could fit it into the coin slot, because I was imagining a lot of like hammering, pressing between pages of a book, try to get like a whole foot mushed down into a disc.
Yeah, no, you don't have to go through all of that.
Where do you get the
Um,
claw?
What do you mean?
Don't those things have wings?
Still, claw bite.
Where is it? I have a picture of
It's
the
like a
thing.
dinosaur wing with like a little claw right on the end of it.
That's what I'm kind of what I'm
Um,
picturing, actually.
Where did it go? So the claw is on the end of its wing. So it has clawed wings.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, this is Itzapalato.
It's Papalato.
Yeah. So the Coatl asks, "Are you ready?"
Yeah, where
Yes.
we need to go?
Yes.
Do we need to
What?
go
Yes.
anywhere else? I forget.
Well, we're supposed to go somewhere to get the crown now that we've got the angel blood.
Right.
Although there may be other things we need. Actually, I'm forgetting if we now have everything that we need.
So let's revisit. Wait, why is it doing that? No, it should not be over there. Oh my God. Okay, so
Because we have like the
so
fiend coin, right? We have
right.
that.
Yeah. And now we need to complete Lassis's ritual
Right.
in order to ensure that the crown is on the same plane as us.
So that
Yeah,
we can have
so-
it and not anybody else.
Yeah, under prophecies and shit. It has the information regarding the crown.
But isn't there like a specific place we have to go? I guess that's under Lassis's ritual.
So there's also Mad Maggie's prophecy. And under the summary of like prophetic visions, it goes through the various things. And so from Mad Maggie's prophecy, it references Malise Moran, the beginning of the fall of the Church of the Silver Flame, foretelling that Malise intends to possess Jayla and release Belshalor. And that Belshalor is seeking an artifact known as the Obsidian Crown, the crown which is contained within a wound upon the land weeping rivers of pus. And you believe that this artifact is the same one referenced by Lassis, that she's in her, the vision where she found you, that she was able to communicate that she's trapped on Delcor and is in need of help, and that the crown can help to save her. And so
Right, and
it was
I thought we had determined that the place we ultimately needed to do the ritual or find the crown was like in the southeast part of the map,
Right.
Yeah,
but
all
I
right,
don't have the map.
so, yeah,
That
let me
that wound in the ground or whatever.
let
Right.
me open up the map.
Like 8, I think was where we were gonna go.
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think you guys are here right now. Or here. You're one of these places. Oh, you guys are here. I'm pretty sure that this is the site of the scab.
So Mad Maggie's prophecy also said to beware the crown's defender. So
Mhm.
so that's not good. And to use rhyme fire embers, which someone somewhere said means cold, I guess. Rhyme means ice. Fire does not.
Cold flame. Is there a cold flame?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it in Corvair history and etymology or whatever it is, rhyme fire is associated with cold because of it's a term coined from the dwarves of the Frostfell Mountains.
So prepare your cold spells.
Yeah, I'm not exactly brimming with them. I guess like if we rest between now and then, I could pick up one.
Oh, another thing that happened last session was Eats Pop Palatl sensed something about the shield that she didn't like and burned it. And now the face of the shield has changed.
Cool. Anybody here use a shield?
Well,
Vegna.
the shield of the Hidden Lord, I mean, sorry, that specific shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vegnog is carrying it. So it is now I believe it's imbued with, it's like golden now.
Yeah, it's just straight gold.
Yeah. So yeah, Vegnog doesn't really take off all that often, but he mostly like has it on his back as like an additional carapace of sorts.
All right. So is that where you guys are? You want to go straight to the scab?
Well, we definitely don't want to rest because I don't need to. He looks over at Ewan.
I'm still bleeding profusely. Yeah,
Right.
I got a new arm, but fucking what's this?
Oh,
Like yeah.
everybody, sorry if I didn't mention it. Following the whole penance stare thing, you guys all have healed fully as if affected by a long rest.
That's handy. What about my temporary hit points that I had?
You still have them if they wouldn't have vanished.
Well, after a long rest, they would. All temporary hit points go away after a long rest.
Well, right, but you didn't actually have a long rest. You just everything is reset as if you've had one, but it's not one. So
Gotcha.
So do I get my spell slots back?
yes.
Are my tubes still luminous?
Yes, and they
Are magnificent. I know.
yes they are. So do you guys want to take some time, or is there like any discussion about where you're going, or are you going straight to the scab, or
It sounds like we cannot wait. We must strike at Scab and get this crown so we can continue our mission.
Agreed.
Especially if we have a willing ride. If only we could ride back to the bridge and see the look on the shadow of death as we ride over on Ipopsipalato. The look on their faces would be great.
Yeah, speaking of, if you like, whenever after you drop us off, if you could just like go fucking just annihilate those guys, that'd be cool. If you just like roll through, just fucking blast them. I know it's asking a lot, but very bad people. I'll put them out on the map. They're right like in this area.
Like where's the cathedral? If you could just go take out everything at the cathedral.
I imagine that's more difficult to do than take out some jamokes on the fucking bridge.
I expect we'll get back to the vehicle and there'll be cops all around because we left Walla Walla inside in the heat with no windows down.
We come back to it. There's a boot on as well.
There's no such thing as cops here. You know, this place that fucking thing's up on the blocks, right? All the tread's gone.
I mean, that could be we go back and it's all stripped from somebody who saw and we just left it unattended.
And the koala's just fucking sitting on top, just basking.
I feel like that koala would go with whoever came, viewing them as a rescuer.
But then he would miss our faces as we look at the fucking. Yeah, he'd probably leave.
He would miss your faces so much that he wanted to eat.
He wanted to see them after we see the vehicle, and we're like, "What the fuck, man?" And it would laugh. We need a druid back in the party so we can awaken the koala, because I want to know what he's thinking.
I mean, you don't need a druid to cast like talk to animals.
Yeah, but if you just speak with animal, he's still dumb. Right.
I don't know
but
that.
if you awaken it, it raises the intelligence. I want to know what the fuck he was thinking. And I wouldn't be able to communicate roughly intelligently.
I'll say she has to make an appearance.
At least as intelligently as Solomon did.
Oh, probably more so. I feel like Awaken does more than that.
So yes, let's just go to, if you could drop us off at bleeding scab. We have business there. That's our next stop.
Oh yeah, man. The target gains an intelligence of 10. That's 3 points above Solomon. I mean, we determined the giant eagle is smarter than Solomon.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys are taken to your vehicle, and then the coatl wraps itself around the vehicle and then takes flight. If you guys are interested, you are able to continue to see out the vehicle, especially through the viewing slot. The flight takes a few hours, and during that time, from time to time, you hear the koala release a roaring flame, and far below you can hear the screams and burning of whatever it is lighting up in its path. If you look, it is destroying demons as it flies over them with its fire. So, and
So
yeah,
what do
so
we
you guys
think? If the Coatl fought the Wandering Emporium beast, who wins?
I am not a betting machine, but
I will
Would
not
that you were a
say.
betting machine? We could have passed the time playing the slots.
I'd
I'm
still
sorry,
I'd
that may be offensive to a Warforged, that playing the slots phrase.
it's my brothers you're playing. But I'd
I mean, there you go. That's an idea for a Warforged. A Warforged that views all of the non-sentient machines as just oppressed because people didn't give them sentience. So he's need to free them all.
He's trying to awaken them. Live and be free.
So along the way, is there anybody that's looking through the viewing slot at all?
Vegnar would.
Okay. So along the way, Vegnag, you see something that you don't believe at first. Like, there's no way. But it does grow closer, and then you're confirming that it can't possibly be an illusion. So I'm going to send you a message with what you see.
I like how you have a Taylor Swift move. Shake it off.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Sure.
What in? It pops a palato. What are you familiar with what's the genesis of that creature? is.
So it's Pappalattle. You can't talk to it from in the vehicle.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess Vegnog or Blade would still like say it out loud and just not hear anything. Because maybe he wouldn't know that.
Mhm. What the fuck am I looking at, Tony? Or Kurt?
You're muted.
Just a guy with a baby arm and a baby with a guy arm.
Oh
good.
man.
Look, you have to see this. There is giant Warforged. It's the size of a small mountain.
I'll go and look.
Yeah, so you look into the viewing slot and lo and behold, you see exactly what Blade has described. What appears to be a warforged the size of a small mountain buried up to its waist.
Friend of yours? Do you know any
I-
stories of Warforged that size?
Vegnog is going to look through his memory banks.
Anybody
I've heard
of
proficient
some.
with history?
Let's see.
Might be.
No.
Yes. I do have history.
So you can make a history check.
I don't think I know it.
Yeah,
Maybe I know a tiny bit maybe, but
you've never heard of anything like this.
I mean, would we know just of like large size Warforged in general? Like not this big, but like large size, like 10, 12 feet.
So you guys would have heard of Warforged Titans. They're fairly rare now. Perhaps only a handful still in existence. But they were used during the last war, which at this point in the game, it's been like 10 years or even more, like 15 years or something since the end of the last war. Lux, Blade has brought to your guys' attention that there, as you guys are flying in the distance, Blade saw a Warforged buried up to its waist, only it's the size of a small mountain.
Okay.
Is it moving? Like, does it appear to be alive?
It does not appear to be moving.
Wasn't Flame Keep surrounded by or protected by some giant colossus?
were we supposed to find a Colossus to be
No.
able to break in?
I've never heard any of this.
That's what we're supposed to use to get into Flame Keep Cathedral.
That might be
Lux.
our ticket in.
Lux,
Oh.
do you have are you proficient in history?
No.
Oh, okay.
So, if we shove this claw into the coin slot over there, do we think we'd be able to get it out? Because it looks like that thing, if it's not sentient, may just be like a giant moving robot. And I don't want to waste the magic claw on this vehicle if we could ride around in style in that one. I'll bet you that one costs a whole lot of soul coins to power.
So
Can we make a mark on, like if paying attention, can we mark on the map where we see that thing?
I was not
Roughly.
paying attention.
it's right here.
Good, it's marked with a 7.
Got it.
Um,
I mean,
So-
where there was some prophecy about a Colossus. This is an awful long way to come back once we've made it to the scar.
Yeah, but could you imagine the look on Shadow of Death's face as we stroll up to bridge in giant colossus?
Or at least on its like shoulder, if it is alive. We get to live out our Iron Giant RPG.
I was thinking Green Ranger standing on the Dragon Sword.
We'll have one
Oh.
Colossus. Now we need one Deadpool. Oh, wait, I got the arm. Yeah, we're good. I got the Deadpool arm. We got the Colossus. We're set, guys. We did it. The crossover is complete.
Maybe we should, when we land, convince the Coatl to stick around because we're gonna have to get back across the river to get back here.
I mean, maybe if we can examine it.
Or we, I guess, could fly to the Warforge now. Open up the hatch, crawl out onto the roof, ask it to land. The Coatl will land, that is.
Who feels nimble enough to get out on the roof of this thing?
Blade's pretty nimble.
Yep.
I nominate Blade
Here, we'll tie a rope to you.
or Lux. It's pretty nimble.
You know what? Blade, if that is your real name, you go ahead. You've got a retractable glider, so you'll be
That's
fine.
true. Yeah, that's true.
Wait, but Lux has a ring of jumping.
Also slow fall.
Yeah, in a slow fall, yeah.
Yeah, though how high up are we?
Pretty high, couple hundred feet.
Is this
Yeah.
like a Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind type of like if your athletics is like high enough, then you don't get hurt on your way down too?
No.
Oh, damn.
I can check it out.
Well, I was just thinking you would go ask the Coatl to land. Not you fly down there solo.
Yeah. No, just
That's-
go up.
That sounds
That's
dangerous.
just in case you fall.
Yeah, and that,
We can
that
still
would
tie a
split the
rope to
party
you.
like no other.
Shit, we lost Blade forever, guys. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll find somebody new whenever we get
Yeah.
where we're going.
Managed to land in the only lava pool in the area. It's- Roll a new character. So yeah, I guess Blade's gonna go up and see if he can try to communicate with the Coatl.
Okay. So, as you open the hatch to the top, before that even, the flight is fairly rough because the Coatl's wings are creating a kind of rhythmic thumping that carries throughout the vehicle. So just getting around in the vehicle is somewhat difficult. Like as if you're in, on a boat that's being buffeted by massive waves, except that's much more regular. And then, so you get to the hatch and you open it up, and then you begin to climb out. Are you coming out all of the way, or what? How are you doing it?
So like the way I'm imagining this is that like it's kind of like when you're like coming out of an airplane and like even like a Hollywood style where like you open the hatch and it's just like buffeted by winds and you like stick
Mhm.
your head out and you're like kind of there, your all the movements are very slow and deliberate and with great strain and effort. So I'd imagine that
Yeah.
like Vegnog pops the hat top of the car open and like is just making very deliberate slow movements as he's trying to like slowly get his way to be within like a talking position. I would say earshot, but hey, just no idea what the earshot of the coatl is.
Or if it has
Um,
ears.
If it has ears.
So give me an athletics check.
Did mention tying a rope to you.
Yes, but did that happen?
I
I mentioned it.
it doesn't sound
Nobody
like it. I
said that they
mentioned
were-
it. Nobody said, yeah, we should do that. So
Oh, that's not
That's
athletics.
Arcana.
I will like
I'll take
I
that
will
one.
just kind of like stick my head out after him, just in case, I guess. I
Okay.
could maybe grab him. I don't have my extendable hand anymore, though.
Nope.
That's true. Rocket Punch is gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that does remind me, when the prosthetic was removed, you hadn't noticed it before, but in its absence, you noticed that there was a slight sense of being watched that is no longer there without the arm.
Oh, I just 100% assumed that was what's her bitch.
Yeah.
At all times, 100%.
I assume you took the arm though, right? No telling what's going to happen to it with the new arm.
Fair. That's fair. I could put it in the lead box with the demon coin. It's like, all right, it's like prepared everybody. Like, all right, get ready. I gotta fucking throw this thing in there. You shut the thing again. All right, ready, go.
I mean, somebody has a bag of holding too.
So wait, so you put it in the chest or that lead box?
No, I don't think I would keep it, actually.
Okay. So it's just still in the coatl's place where it dropped? Okay.
Yeah,
I
I will not give you the satisfaction, goddammit.
So Vagna or Blade, so even with your high athletics check, it is really difficult making your way across the vehicle. And the vehicle, as you're flying, I mean, the winds are just incredible. Make me a survival check.
Here's where that ends. Oh no, it's where it begins.
So that's good enough to you realize that you are flying at, it's got to be several hundred miles an hour. Like this thing is booking it across the land.
We break the fucking sound barrier.
Yeah.
at that moment, like Vegnog, I imagine Vegnog's like 15, 20 feet away from the hatch, and he's like, oh, maybe I should come back. Am I past the point of no return?
So here's the thing. If we're going past Mock, right? I don't know. Can it hear us?
So that's another question. You know, the noise of the winds whipping about you is intense. Now you do get the sense that there is some kind of protective magic emanating from the coatl, which is making this safer, because otherwise the vehicle would have vibrated until it shattered. But so it's going to be a challenge to get the coatl to actually hear you. Not saying that it's not possible, but it will be a challenge. So as you're kind of assessing the situation, Blade, how do you imagine trying to get the coatl's attention?
So is it clawing onto the car?
Wrap
Or onto
around
the
it.
vehicle?
Yeah, it's kind of wrapped around it.
Easy.
I guess how far from the hatch is its body, like the closest part of its body?
Let's bring up a map of the car. Let's see.
Because yeah, if it's like, it's a long snake, like worm-like creature, it's wrapped around it, and like part of its tail is dangling off, and it's got one or two coils around the car.
So I guess it depends on which hatch you emerged from. Probably the two hatches in the back would have been stuck because of the way that the coatl is positioned. So from the middle hatch, it's only like maybe 5-10 feet to actually make contact with the coatl.
Yeah, so I guess Vegnog would go up and try to make that 5-10 feet to it, and then like attempt to like hit, like knock on it to see if they can get it to feel. As like because he gets up and like he can't hear because like there is no sound, and he's like he's thinking, oh, there's speaking isn't going to work, so I'll try seeing if we can like get its attention by rapping on it.
Make me another athletics check as you try to do that while keeping yourself on the vehicle.
I imagine this would have been acrobatics checks. So sorry, Blade.
No, normally he wouldn't be doing so well, except with his new blade arm. He's using it to kind of like position himself in a little bit, and so far it's working.
He embeds his blade into the skin of the coatl to hold himself up.
So with your athletics check, you're able to hang on while you do it. In order to get its attention, make me a persuasion check, but substitute charisma for strength.
That's confusing. Making a persuasion check, but substitute charisma for strength.
All right, on D20 plus strength plus
It's-
proficiency bonus is basically what
Aggressive.
that is.
Aggressive persuasion.
20 minus 1 plus what's proficiency? 3.
Okay. So you're able to get its attention. You you see visibly kind of the creature's coiled body flex in response, and then its head turns to you, and you hear its roaring voice even over the wind whipping about you, and it says, "What?"
And that blade will point down like towards the Colossus.
Okay. So then the Coatl will respond, and it will go to somewhat close to the Colossus, and then put the vehicle down. And then you can hear the Coatl's voice from outside. I imagine, Blade, you tried to get back in after that.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd get out of that situation post haste.
So yeah, so the Coatl would set the vehicle down, and then you would hear it ask, "Have you changed your mind and where you're going?"
We have reason to believe maybe we may need to pay a visit to that giant mechanism over there.
I assume you got out of the vehicle to speak to it.
Yeah. I imagine we're all like out, or at least a number of us,
Okay.
like Dragon Ball Z style in front of the dragon. We saw vision where we were atop of this Colossus, driving it into Flamekeep to break its defenses from the fiends.
Flamekeep Cathedral, he means.
Flamekeep Cathedral, yes. We did not expect to see it as we were passing over. We just wanted to check it out.
And what am I meant to do while you do this?
Blade will turn to Brand and Ewan and Lux.
And you can hear in the Coatl's voice a sense of displeasure and lack of patience.
My friends believe this could be very important, an important step to defeating Belshalor and preventing his return. So I figure we should check it out while we're here. We would appreciate it if you could wait for us at least a short time, however long you deem appropriate. If you leave in the meantime, we understand. We do have the vehicle and can make it to the scab on our own.
You said that this city, Flamekeep, was in danger and needed my help.
That it does.
I was not expecting a long delay here. But as I said, we haven't come back in an hour. If you want to leave, that's fine.
I mean, Otherwise, we just come back to this damn thing later. I mean,
Right, stopping here now may save us days.
Yes, we have no way of crossing. We don't have a good way of crossing river of lava when we come back this way. So if this is something we could get working, then we wouldn't have to worry about finding a crossing. Because we will not have your assistance on the way back.
Blade, go ahead and make me a persuasion check. This one normal with charisma.
Yeah, this is not my great strength. But I'm gonna use an action point. I'm gonna use my other action point since I just got it back last session. I'm eager to use both action points in one session before we walk into the mountainous creature that's definitely going to kill me. God damn it. 13.
Okay. Well, blades was enough. So yeah, you don't I asked Blade to do the persuasion check anyway, so you don't need to worry about the action points because Blade had already rolled and
Oh, I'm
succeeded.
sorry.
So but still it was nice to see your enthusiasm. But the coatl it grumbles and I will wait a short while. Do what you must. If I am here, we will continue the trip. If I am not, I will be in Flame Keep soon.
It is most appreciated. We will be quick.
That's when I turn and look. How far away are we from this thing? 300 miles.
How far are you away from the Warforged?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the coatl brought you back fairly close to it. It's within like a few minutes of a drive. The coatl didn't want to bring you right next to it because it didn't know what it was. So it was acting out of caution. But you can see that the Warforged is buried. Actually, it's a bit higher than its waist, with one arm also buried in the ground, and that arm seeming to be the one that is somewhat supporting a good deal of the giant Warforged's weight, as it is somewhat tilted, with the other arm kind of out in front of it, placed kind of flat, and the head kind of cocked and tilted to the side. So it is incredibly large. So the vehicle, the Warforged could pick up the vehicle in its hand and palm it with one hand. So what do you do as you get closer to it?
I mean, our goal,
Yes.
right? We need to figure out what will get this thing moving, right? So,
Yeah,
Where-
I probably would look to Blade to, talk to it in the language of your people.
that's racist.
And then suddenly Blade comes alive with a series of R2D2 like whistles and clicks. The secret Warforged language.
Druids have druidic, rogues have thieves can't. Warforged have droid.
So, Blade would be assessing to see, I'm guessing it, even if he would be testing to see if it's like truly powered off or if it's like kind of in stasis where there's like a low power home, or it's like in sleep mode. So he would be seeing if like, if there's like any sort of like vibrations, like as they're getting closer, like kind of like a dull thrum in the earth and they're, in the ground. And barring that, he would be looking to see if he could find some way or like see if he could see a kind of a path to get into like either the body cavity area, like to the back, where he knows that some controls are, or if there's like a way to get like the series of like a scaffolding to get to like the head area. Like he'd be looking for a way up.
It's got to be like internal workings, right? It had to be put together.
So anybody that's like looking at this giant warforged, go ahead and give me a perception check. You could also use investigation if you want.
I'm gonna give myself advantage.
This is your jam.
And I'm also going to use an action point. Jesus cocksucking Christ.
I mean, you
Fine.
have advantage.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that part. I did good. Now I did good.
So I'm gonna send you a message, Ewan. Okay. Send.
How close are we?
You're pretty close to the base of it where the Warforged has been buried into the ground. So
how's this
probably
thing,
standing
like-
in front of like the arm.
Okay. And it's like, I guess its head is what, like sort of like leaned down or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of because it's kind of at a cockeyed angle, and so its head is kind of slumped a bit. But also it's not the Warforged isn't built quite like Blade is, in terms of like it's more the neck that the Warforged has is more like in front, like more like its shoulders come above the head.
Okay.
Somewhat here. I will draw a picture.
As he does that, I'll just sort of point out, I'll just sort of like point up towards the head of the thing and just like say, and like basically at its like sort of eyes and say, there's something moving within its eyes.
Well, I imagine there must be things living inside it. It's obvious everything for 100 miles could see it.
Can confirm it is here. There's definitely things inside of its head where its eyes would be.
You mean something's replaced the whole eye, or there's just something moving inside the eye?
Moving within it.
It is likely we'll have to flush them out if there's any hope of restarting this.
If I didn't know it was a Warforged, my first thought would be, it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
It's
See-
yeah, it's a pretty good drawing for just
Yeah.
off the cuff.
I have my drawing tablet that I'm using, so I actually
Oh.
have a pen.
Oh, that makes it a lot easier. You shouldn't have said that. You should have been like, yeah, I'm pro at this.
So does that make sense? Like where the head and neck are kind of attached to with the shoulders and the chest down there.
Right. Yeah,
So
makes sense. It's a
a
bit like a
forward-facing-
Warforged, a bit like a Warforged Titan then.
Yeah.
Just on a completely different scale. And you could tell magic was used because they've never heard of the square cube law.
So, sorry, while I was drawing, I missed what you guys were saying or talking about.
Tony was mentioning that there's something moving inside the eyes. So did you see a way inside?
It's me off. He didn't send me any message about a way of getting inside, so I don't know.
Branded one, with your investigation check, you would have been able to see that there. Let's go back to the whiteboard. Oh, it's saved. Excellent. So you notice that there is what appears to be like a possible hatch right there. And if you were to go to the back, like go around to the back, you would notice that there are what appear to be makeshift like carvings into the metal and stone of its hide, because it's a weird like amalgamation. It's like metal, but it's got patches of stone in worked into it. And it seems like there's something that is like carved like divots that could be used to climb.
So how high up off the ground, like, is this hatch vertically? And can Lux jump that high?
All right, so let's do a bit of scaling, shall we? So
I'm just wondering
Uh,
if it's like, it makes sense that we would check out that that's really a hatch before we climb up the back.
Thought you were gonna draw a banana on the picture to scale.
so if we look at a scale of reference with the vehicle, so your vehicle, if it can fit in the Warforged hand, so it's probably about that big. That's why is it? That's your. Why is it not drawing now? What is it doing?
That enough. Your drawing was too good.
Apparently.
Used to amateurs.
Wait a minute. Okay, now, okay, so, this is your vehicle with the hatch and the jumper and the wall. So, and your vehicle is like 20 feet tall. So if that's 20 feet, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, probably about 150 feet up.
Probably too high, but Lux, can you jump that high? Just to see what that dark space is. I think it may be a hatch. But it's difficult to tell from down here.
Question.
Whoever had the idea to walk around back there, that was clutch. That was a good idea. Because it looks like we can climb up the back. I like to imagine somebody was like, perhaps we can get in through the butthole.
Got to dig it out first. If necessary, I'll just climb up there. We need to just write down Lux's maximum jump range, just so that we know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she can long jump, something close to that, but I don't think she can high jump quite that much.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a spyglass? Or is that only Clave?
I do. I could.
I mean, right now I'm just trying to, someone needs to confirm that's a hatch. If it is, we
could-
might as well climb.
I would be climbing to see. Anyway, maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
Well,
But,
if one person's
if
gonna
Lux,
climb,
if Lux could
probably
make
should
a
all.
jump, then that might be easier.
I guess here's a question we might want to figure out. Can we tell what sort of like metal this thing is made of? Is it is it super fucking hot?
I mean, part of it is stone in patches. Is it one type of metal or is it multiple types of metal?
Does anybody have let's see what kind of
Proficiency in Smith's tools?
Proficiency in Smith's tools would work, or any kind of iron working.
I have proficiency in the tools. I don't have anything specific to ironworking. Other,
Yeah.
well, that's sort of what Smith's tools mostly are used for, but other than that,
Oh, right. So like farrier's tools or things like that too. So does anybody else have any tool proficiencies that might work?
and I have Tinker's tools.
Okay.
No, my jeweler's tools would be no help here.
All right. So I'll say that branded one, you can go ahead and give me a Smith's tools with using wisdom, and you can add a D4 because you also are proficient in Tinker's tools.
Wisdom, my one weakness. Now I'll use an action point. But, well, I guess I'll roll the D4 first. Yeah, so I'll use an action point. So 14.
How's he die?
Yeah, that's true. Have to confirm.
It looks like rock candy and he decides to lick it.
I hope that that does not confirm.
Um,
The light
So-
just hits it in the right way and I'm blinded.
Forever.
So with a 14, your best guess would be some kind of iron or steel, and mixed with some kind of composite stone. Looks like maybe granite, but you're not very confident in your assessment.
So iron, probably. But it seems like our best bet to get in is to climb up. And since there may be something inside behind the eyes, I don't recommend anyone climbing up by themselves. If Lux could have jumped up, that'd be different. She'd have been up there for a split second, but if one person's going to climb, we might as well all climb in case trouble starts.
Well, let's get to moving.
Yes, Ipsops Palatal wasn't going to wait for very long.
Can't dawdle. Let's go. We can't dawdle, or it pops lottle, or we'll leave.
So yeah, I guess start climbing.
Yep.
Everybody make me a perception check.
Nice. See jack shit.
He's blinded now.
So Ewan, I'm gonna say you're the first up to start climbing. And as you begin to get ready to put like a foot into one of those footholds, and I'm also simultaneously going to grab one of them, you notice that now that you're up close, there are like subtle mechanisms in there that are very difficult to see. but it's not just been like cleanly carved out. And seeing that gives you pause before you want to put anything in there.
I guess I'll just kind of look like. Like a fucking stick or something I can poke in there.
We have Walla Walla back in the car.
That'll work. Yeah, I mean, I'll just like mention it, I guess. I don't know who would be able to decipher these mechanisms, but
So what it looks like is so if we say like this is one of the holes, and then like this is the inside of the hole. So like there's like a sheet of like metal here that there's a small gap.
is it on all of them?
It's not on all of them.
Bill, this is Mike's game. Anybody who puts their hand in there is losing some fingers.
Right. I just got these back. Okay. I mean, I don't know what that is.
Are you?
I'll point it out on my. Looks strange. I don't know if this were just like a handhold. I wouldn't expect to see this. I don't know what this is.
Well, I guess we shouldn't expect there to have been handholds in the back of this thing at all, especially neatly carved ones. It doesn't look like it's just some sort of erosion. I mean, I have a dagger. I'll take out my dagger and like poke into the hole just to see if there's any like mousetrap snap.
Right.
So how are you poking your dagger into it?
Well, first it would just be put the blade in, like not even contacting anything, because sometimes these traps are sensitive. Then, I would probably start like scraping it around, jabbing into that little gap.
Push on it.
So yeah, putting your dagger just into it doesn't do anything. It's not like motion sensitive or whatever. As you put the dagger blade into like the crack, give me an investigation check.
I'll use an action point.
Okay. You can tell that there's like some kind of spring behind it, and it looks like it's made where it could make a loud sound if it's depressed.
A warning.
So, yeah, I'll share that with people. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I don't imagine this thing sneaking up on anyone. You wouldn't think it would need to necessarily make noise, but maybe it can deafen people around it. Or some sort of thunder-based weapon.
Or whoever's living inside laid down noise traps so they know that we're coming.
That seems more likely.
looking at it, you know, with proficiency in Tinker's tools, does this look like something that would have been original to the design or something somebody built into it afterwards?
No, with your Tinker tools proficiency, I mean, you wouldn't even need to make a check. This is not original to the design of this thing. The obviously the hide of that, or the hull, however you want to call it, of this giant warforged is thick enough that this is you know, not significant amount of damage. So somebody took time to actually carve or mold in some way these things into the structure of this thing. They don't, yeah,
Yeah,
they
no,
don't,
that makes.
just the way that they're shaped doesn't appear to be as cleanly machined as the rest of the design of this giant warforged would suggest.
I see.
from
I
being
misunderstood then. So then, yeah, you're probably right. This is somebody's early warning system. They probably use these things to climb, knowing which ones are booby trapped.
So we can either do the same or try and dismantle them along the way. Might be easier just to avoid them.
Though this does seem to be the easiest way to climb up.
Brandon, one, you would know from your investigation that it's incredibly easy to set off. It doesn't take very much touch. Like it is very cleanly designed. The only reason that you didn't set it off by accident is because the way that you put the blade into it kind of was the opposite action that would have instigated the noise. And
How about this for a plan? We send Trebek up on his new wings to like hover there. Then we set off one of the traps, and when somebody pops out of the hatch, he grabs them. End of plan.
I want to assume that there are multiple things living inside.
Trebek is more than willing to fly up and look at the stuff.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
think we
actually a
can.
really good observation, because one of the difficulties with this particular setup is as you climb, the next handhold is higher than your head. And so in order to actually get up to that point, you need to put your hand in to begin the climb. So you wouldn't be able to see what whether the handhold is one of the booby trapped ones or not.
Well, all we need is some method for marking these things, and we can just, have Trebek show him what to look for and have him mark the ones that we need to avoid.
That makes sense.
Unless
Anybody have-
dismantling one dismantles all of them. I assume they're independent, but maybe they're all tied into the same mechanism on the inside.
I feel like it would be time consuming to begin to try to dismantle them.
Agreed.
Does anybody have chalk?
Nope.
I do not.
I have a piton if he wants to scratch with that.
try and scratch with the P10.
What?
So how do you imagine using them, like creating a mark with a P10?
Just using the pointed end to try and groove out some marking. If there's
Okay.
rocks around, we can use that to mark on these.
Okay. So
That
is
would be,
that,
in fact, those would, that a rock would, a soft rock would do it, would do the markings even easier. Have a quick look around for something like that. I don't know.
okay. Give me an investigation check. Okay. There are some softer volcanic rocks around that would be capable of leaving a mark. Additionally, you know, the ground is covered in ash as well.
I mean, if he could just carry a rock, he wouldn't have to make multiple trips up and down.
Mhm.
Use a rock as much as possible, and then scatter ashes onto the thing if we have to afterwards.
Okay. Then let's see how Trebek does.
I have a skull bowl full of angel blood. You could paint with.
Oh, that's right. You guys, did you not find a different container?
I mean, I could use water skins, I suppose.
I mean, I think we just didn't want a different container.
I mean, I think since I don't assume the skull ball is sealed, I assume we have to find a different container, or else
Ideally,
combat becomes risky. We'll spill our angel blood and then have to go find the coatl again.
okay. In the meantime, Trebek takes one of the rocks that Ewan finds, and he begins flying up. This is the first time that he's actually flown, so it's kind of experimental for him. And you can see at first he kind of struggles with it, but then he becomes much more fluid and natural in his movements. And you can see that there's this great joy on his face as he's experiencing flight for the first time. But then he gets back on task and starts marking occasional handholds along the way. It's probably every 3 or 4 handholds, there's one that is marked at fairly regular intervals. So, but he finishes, and then he comes back down and he says, all right, that's all. I've marked all the ones that I could see.
All right.
You should probably hover near the bottom in case somebody falls. Although I have to admit, it's probably going to be me. I feel like everybody here's a little better at this physically active side of adventuring.
It's easy. You just put one foot in front of the other, and then you just let all of your gears do the work.
That's pretty straightforward. Thanks for the tip.
So
I'll,
how are you going to deal with the marked ones? Are you just going to not use them? Or
That's
Yeah.
the idea.
okay.
Yeah.
So with the pattern, you do see that each time that you're having to skip a handhold, it is a more difficult climb because you're essentially having to use a single handhold to kind of in place of where you would use two to help pull yourself up. So everybody that's making the attempt is going to need to give me an athletics check to see how well that they can climb up.
I'll go first. Nice.
I'll go last in case I don't want to fall on Lux.
It's not horrendous.
So Lux, you get to one of these that you need to skip, and you're having difficulty pulling yourself up, but you find that you can, like, if you position yourself, you can just kind of make the leap. And so you can go ahead and give me an acrobatics check to see how well you do the leap. Yeah,
She jumps
actually,
past
so
everybody.
yeah, you jump right up to the top of the head.
I assume we're doing the jumping distance and using dex instead of strength for this. Isn't that what we did before?
Yeah, well, with my versions of the monk, you can use dexterity instead of strength when doing jump distances. But
Okay.
but yeah, you're able, not only do you are you able to cover the entire distance of the climb with your jump, with your single bound, but you also land silently without a single reverberation through the hull.
Okay.
Branded one, you have similar issues, and you're kind of struggling to get that climb up. So how do you try to address that?
Can I also make an athletics or an acrobatics check?
Yes.
I will fall because I don't want to. I have bonus action points, but I'm saving them for something more important. Than I tried to climb up a bunch of handholds on a rock wall, and I could not do it.
So Trebek, ever vigilant, sees that you're struggling and swoops in, preventing you from falling off, and in fact decides to use his flight to help pull you up, to help you with those instances where the climb is more difficult because you need to skip a handhold. Ewan and Blade, you guys have no problem climbing up. So now you are on top of the head, and you can see the hatch, but there's no clear, visible way of opening it.
Is there like what does the hatch look like? Is it like there's a giant wheel on it, or is it just like a smooth metal?
So as you're looking at the hatch, it is not quite squared, it's like rounded. And it's, you can see some markings that appear to be runes. And then there's a strange little spot here where the metal actually appears to be damaged. And everybody give me an investigation check.
This magic shit, man. I don't know.
Okay. Lux, you can make out that there appear in this area of the hatch that appears to have been damaged. There are slight broken shards of some kind of pink gemstone that you feel used to be there.
Okay. Shards of a pink gemstone. I would assume Vegnog notices that too.
Um,
I'm sorry, Blade the Destroyer.
Eggnog got a 23, so
oh wait, did I miss that? I did. Oh yeah, so Vegnog would have seen that as well. Probably makes more sense for Vegnog to have seen it because gems, money.
Locks, rogues, warforged.
So, but we don't. So we see you see pink shards that used to be in there, or that there are pink shards and like some of them are missing.
So there are small pink shards that are, so if there was a larger gemstone here that was broken out and removed, like those are places where the gem broke that it was still set into the metal.
Gotcha.
With your investigation check, Vegnog, you would also be able to see that likely the door probably either comes directly up or is pushed directly in. Doesn't appear like there's any hinge, nor does it appear like it would slide across.
I guess Vegnog would turn to Lux and say, "You see these? You see these? They might be worth something." And he starts pulling out his jeweler's tools to see if he can assess the value and the nature of these gemstones.
So you'll need a strength check to try and pull one of them out.
Dude.
Do you, it'll, unless you have like a tool, like a chisel or pliers or something, it'll be at disadvantage.
Just jeweler's tools, which I
You
thought
do-
would come with that.
Okay, you do have jeweler's tools?
Yeah, and I'm
Okay.
proficient in them.
Okay, then you can use that and use dexterity. Okay. So you're able to pull one of them out, and if you want, you can give me another another jeweler's tools check with intelligence.
The dex isn't accounting for proficiency. So it's actually +3 into that. And this will be another 3 on top of that.
Okay. With your jeweler's check for the intelligence, it's very clear to you that this is a dragon shard, probably an Eberron shard, as it is. Those are the type of shards that are typically somewhat elemental in nature, in kind of hold magic, where kyber shards might be more about binding creatures or elementals, and Sybaris dragon shards are more about typically enhancing the power of dragon marks. So Eberron shards enhance and focus magic. And so it's likely that this was linked to some kind of key shard that would have allowed the wielder to simply touch it to the gemstone, and then it would have opened through magical means.
So Vegnog has his his eyeglass comes down and then it extends out, and he's sitting there like, there are dragon shards embedded in the door. It seems they are particularly Eberron shards. Seems they are used as a mechanism to get inside and respond to some key shard. Presumably, whoever's inside has the other shard that is required to open this door, at least in the intended manner.
Is there any way to open it in an unintended way?
Does anybody have a crowbar?
Vegnog or Blade, go ahead and roll to confirm your crit with the jeweler's tools. I want to see if you can get something more with it.
+3.
Okay.
7.
I was gonna touch it with my new arm.
You're still getting used to the sense of feeling, just in general. It's like you've had your arm has been asleep for a year and now it's just woken up. Pins and needles.
We just need to start like rubbing your arm with like a bunch of random shit so you can feel, get used to feeling again.
But it doesn't react to the dragon mark arm
No.
at all.
It's possible if this were a Sybaris shard, maybe, but because it's an Eberron shard, those are not specifically attuned to dragon marks necessarily.
I don't know shit about any of that. I do have a dragon shard that I had been using to imbue my punches with magic. I don't know if that matters. I don't want to punch the thing, but
so let's.
We could try go back to my brilliant plan from before. Now that we're all up here, Trebek goes back and purposefully sets off one of the traps. Maybe somebody will poke their head out.
do we have good footholds up here? Like place
I
to
don't know,
actually fight?
We've
That's what-
been
this head seems awfully sideways.
right, and we've been hanging around the hatch, which is on the slanted part.
I know.
But I'm just trying to figure out how to get the actual door open.
I have
Yeah.
a feeling.
So because of the way that the head is kind of positioned, you know, and with these tracks going to it, you could kind of hold yourself or kind of even pin yourself a little bit between the shoulders here and the head to kind of get a good look at the hatch. But it is also interesting in that because of the tilt of it, it makes it difficult if you realize the more that you look at it, the tilt of it makes it difficult if you were to use force to really get a good footing to do so. And so like some of you are, I imagine, standing like on the head here, kind of looking at it. Others kind of propping yourselves up as you can to look at it more directly on.
Mhm.
So Ewan, do you mention your dragon shard to everybody, or are you saying that just kind of out of character?
Yeah, I mean, dragon shards, yada yada. I mean, well, yeah. I have a dragon shard. I've been using it.
You have dragon shard, and then Vagnog is like, put it on the door.
Will it destroy it?
Well, it should open it if it's an Aberon shard.
No, will it destroy the shard?
Probably not.
Is anyone trained in Arcana?
I am.
But nothing in life is guaranteed, Ewan.
Brandon, when you can go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Now you
Okay.
listen here. There's a number of guarantees I can provide.
So
Guarantee if you break my dragon shard, I'll kick your ass.
Exactly so.
So Branded one, you would guess that with there is a possibility to create a resonance, since you do have fragments of the previous shard that was here. You could replace the magic of the magic weapon dragon shard to act as a kind of key. The question is there enough, are the fragments in the divot sufficient enough to still be able to act on the door if you were to do so? Theoretically, it's possible though, but it would take you at least an hour.
So I do think it is possible to use the dragon shard at no risk to the dragon shard at all to possibly trigger the fragments that are left of the pink dragon shard to
Well,
issue the signal needed.
Not completely correct. The dragon shard would no longer contain the magic that it uses to empower weapons.
At no risk to the dragon shard.
Insight.
But it would take me a lot of time. We might lose our ride from the coatl because it would take probably more than an hour for me to do it.
Oh, well, that's not worth it then. Let's try and get this quick. But also insight. Ah, shit. Oh, shit.
I don't know who wins. We both
Hi-
just narrow our eyes and stare at each other.
Yeah.
It's like, uh-huh. If we don't have the time, then we don't have the time. Let's see if we can determine a better route.
That's fair. Let's all wait for Ewan's plan. Over to you, Ewan.
I'm ready to stand here and wait for that alarm to get kicked, and I snag whoever comes out.
I would say the one possible hiccup with my plan is it requires them to rush out towards whoever set off the alarm. And they could retreat further into the mechanism of this creature, or simply arm themselves and prepare to shoot anyone who comes through that door.
Well,
This
it's not like
is
we're getting in
giant.
anytime soon, so
This is Warforged Titan, extremely large. There could be other weapons systems that can be activated from the inside that they also could point. Either ones that were on the Titan itself, or that they have been augmented since, and we just are not aware of.
well, I mean, has this thing shown any signs of having any sort of power running through it?
No, but if it's impossible to get it to move again, then we're really wasting our time.
I mean, I figured our goal here is to determine what we need to get it moving again. I don't expect to get it moving now.
I was hoping that whoever lives inside at least has some information on how it works, having been here a lot longer than us.
Maybe they're friendly. There's always a slight chance of that.
We could just knock.
We could knock.
The simple solution. If they are friendly and we act in a kind manner, maybe they would be willing to listen, at least.
I don't know.
This would be a good point in the movie to cut to the scene of us fleeing the Warforged Titan as it stomps behind us trying to kill us.
Remember that time?
I mean, it's either that or we trigger alarms and really sound hostile.
I feel like they are less likely if they are not friendly. And frankly, even if they are friendly, we're in a dark forest of Fernia, so they have to assume anyone who's outside is potentially a threat. So they're still unlikely to want to open the door, since there's a pretty good chance we'd be fiends or somebody looking to steal from them. And in fact, we are kind of here to steal the entire Titan, right? So they'd be right.
Is there any chance you'll let me just Fonzie this thing open? With my dragon shard powered monk fists. I just go just fucking bang on the thing. And it just opens.
Is that really what you want to do?
No.
Yeah, think about what Mike would do if you failed.
I know. Lose a shard and an arm.
I just read Dustin's message.
Yeah, the doors fuck everybody.
I'd say we either knock or we turn back and continue on our way.
I mean, I think we should try the alarm plan before we leave. But if the consensus is we should knock, fine. If it were me, I would not open it, but perhaps these are the first friendly people we've met who weren't in the Wandering Emporium.
Vegnog's gonna look around to see if there's like around the hatch. Does it look like there are any does it look like there are any kind of pieces of metal or plating that look like they move in the sense like kind of like eye peepholes so that like they could see like check on the door?
I have a separate question.
Yes, so do I.
So no, there's nothing that you can see on here that would indicate they have any ability to see who might be at the door.
Okay.
Can I make it down to the eyes? I don't know the shape of this head.
So it is a fairly flat head, or face rather. So, and it is based on the scaling that we have here. It's probably about 20 feet down to the eye.
Uh-huh.
So if you had a rope and an anchor or something like that, you could potentially climb down. You wouldn't be able to do it from here because the slope here is too great, so you wouldn't be able to stand there. But you could lower the rope like here.
Then the rope would be dangling in front of the eye.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have Trebek, the MVP clearly of this party.
It's true.
And
You
so I don't know that your plan was to peek through and to see what's inside, but Trebek could probably do it easier than you. That said, his flapping wings are probably not completely inconspicuous.
Maybe he can come up from the bottom. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, unless they're not paying attention and not looking out these windows, they would have seen us coming in our vehicle and our fucking coatl.
The coatl at least was a fairly long way off, but possibly.
The motherfucker broke the sound barrier. I mean, so there's a clash that happens when you come back through it.
So do you want to send Trebek?
I mean, it seems like an all right idea. You'd be very, very careful.
Okay. Let's see how that goes.
So, just wondering, is there anything to, like, we were talking about lowering a rope? Is there something here to tie a rope to?
No.
Yeah, that would have been a problem for the rope plan. Everybody just precariously balance yourself on this metal surface and lower me down.
I mean, I have, like I said, I have pitons if we could just find a fucking crevice.
So, it's not completely out of the question because there is depth here that, like, we're already where you're kind of standing. There's like essentially a platform here that, and the width of the head it's quite large. So, you could probably play basketball on the space that you have here to stand on.
So
So,
between us and the edge where we would like just plummet, it's how far?
um,
Like, what's the depth of the head that we're standing on?
it is about 35 feet.
Yeah, so it's much bigger than I was thinking.
I think it is best if Trebek goes down. How does Trebek do?
Well, let's find out, shall we?
No need to ask Trebek if he's willing. Just do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Okay. So I assume you want Trebek to try and be quiet and stealthy.
Yes. And to approach from the bottom and not be seen.
Okay.
Try your best. Anybody got any buffs you can give on?
I do not.
Okay. So Trebek begins flying. He flies off the head, makes his way around from here, and then kind of begins to slowly climb up. As he does, he grips the edge of the eye socket. But because he's still unfamiliar with his wings, he is kind of unstable for a minute, and hey, fuck you,
Got it.
Tag Cooper. I will end you. I will skin you, fucking cat. Sorry, where was I? So he kind of like goes like cockeyed and goes and yelps, and kind of falls in a way that potentially could have revealed himself if there were anything kind of looking out the window at the time. And being kind of too scared to go and look and see, he immediately flies back up. But he did get a slight look in there. And so Trebek says he saw in the head two creatures that were talking. He doesn't think that they noticed him, but he can't be sure. And there were these strange, there was like a a platform between the eyes.